All right, let's dive into something pretty profound. We're going to look at this incredible connection, a link between an ancient story and, believe it or not, the biology of childbirth. It's this idea that what we believe can actually change one of the most intense physical experiences a person can have. It's the word and the womb. Let's get into it. So let's start here. Why is it that when we talk about birth, the first thing that comes up so often is fear? I mean, it's like the default setting for so many people. How did this completely natural process get so tangled up with anxiety? We're going to trace that feeling right back to its source. And we're not talking about some vague, fuzzy feeling, right? These are really specific fears that a lot of people can relate to. There's the fear of just how intense it's going to be, the fear of losing control of your own body, that feeling of, what if I don't know what to do? And for so many, there's the very real fear of having a difficult experience all over again. These feelings, they set the stage way before labor ever starts. Okay, but what if this fear isn't just about the physical side of things? What if the real root of it goes way deeper? I'm talking about a story, a single interpretation of a story that has shaped our entire culture's view of birth for, well, centuries. And this is the verse, Genesis 3:16, from the King James Bible. I will greatly multiply thy sorrow. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. For hundreds of years, this has been read as a curse, a divine punishment, the idea that childbirth is supposed to be painful suffering. And that one sentence, it has had a massive, almost immeasurable impact. But hang on a second, what if we've been laser focused on the wrong word this whole time? The verse says sorrow, but we've all come to understand it as pain. Is that really what the original text meant? Could it be that the key to unlocking this whole framework of fear is hidden in a single, simple translation? So, the original Hebrew word used here is ḥiṣṣāบํôn. And when you actually look at what it means, well, it's not sharp physical pain. Not at all. It means things like toil, effort, a heavy burden, fatigue, even concern. It's pointing to this big existential weight, not a specific physical punishment. And here's the kicker. The Hebrew language has other words that mean exactly physical pain, and those words are not used here. And this is where it all clicks into place. The exact same word, ḥiṣṣāบํôn, is used just a few lines later to describe the man's work, toiling the ground. So it's not a unique physical curse on women. It's describing a shared human condition, a struggle, an effort, this existential burden that applies to both men and women. What this means is that Genesis isn't describing a body that's suddenly broken or flawed. It's not a curse on anatomy. It's describing a change in the human condition for everyone. Life's most fundamental processes, for both men and women, now just carry more weight, more vulnerability. It means we need each other, we need care and community more than ever. Yeah, there's this quote from the material we looked at that just says it perfectly. This sorrow is existential, not anatomical. It's a shift in our experience of the world, not a punishment that's hardwired into our biology. That's a huge difference. And this new way of reading it actually fits so much better with a core idea in Christian theology. I mean, if you insist that painful birth is this permanent, unbreakable curse, you run into a problem. The New Testament is all about how Christ brought redemption from the curse of the law, and that redemption is supposed to be complete. So a lingering, unredeemed curse on half of all people, it just doesn't line up. Okay, so we've looked at the language, we've looked at the theology, but this isn't just some abstract thought experiment. This change in belief has a direct, and I mean direct, physical impact on what happens in the body during labor. So modern science tells us that birth is basically run by hormones. The main one, the big boss, is oxytocin. You might have heard of it as the love hormone or the cuddle hormone, but here, let's call it the safety hormone, because it only really flows when a person feels safe, secure, and not watched. And it stops it in its tracks? Its total opposite, the fear hormone, adrenaline. And this is how you get what you could call a fear cascade. It's a chain reaction. Step 1, it starts with a belief, right? Birth is a punishment. Step 2, that belief creates an emotion, fear. Step 3, the fear triggers a hormonal response. Adrenaline goes up, and oxytocin, our safety hormone, goes way down. And the final physical results, the body clamps down, it goes into fight or flight, a defense mode, which is literally the opposite of the open, relaxed state it needs to be in for birth.
It all boils down to this really powerful link. A wrong interpretation of theology produces fear, and that fear directly alters physiology. A thought, a belief, can literally change the way your body works.
So what we're really talking about here is a complete change in perspective. You've got the old frame, which sees birth as a battlefield, a painful punishment you just have to fight your way through and survive. But then you have this new frame, which sees it as a supported passage. Yeah, it's intense, but it's a natural process that works best when there's safety, care, and trust. And really, this is the whole point. This is the big takeaway. When the story changes, when you go from curse to condition, from punishment to passage, the fear can just melt away. And when the fear is gone, the body is finally free to do what it's so beautifully designed to do. The body can breathe. And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. If a centuries-old story about a single word can have this much of an impact on something as physical as birth, what other beliefs are shaping your body's experience right now? About your health, about stress, about what you're capable of? It's something to think about, isn't it?